You said, like right
now. Hey, can I, do you know where you're going? I found out where. Okay, because you got your map. The building is the only 3-story building on this, on the premises. It's out by the main entrance, to the left of the main entrance. It's where big T-33 is up on her, what do you call it, Sam? It's a T-33, isn't it? Yeah. Big T-33 Thunderbird paint job is up on this thing. So it's like the main museum grounds, like in restoration area. Big tall building, you're on the second floor in room 3. You gotta go up the elevator to the second floor, room 3.
Okay.
By happenstance, there's a science forum right across the hall from you starting out. So,
there's a main entrance I see in admission.
Hey, navigate to me. I'm there. I'm across the hall from your room. So, if you see me on your
that doesn't work. That's the area. It's like James C. Ray Drive. There's admissions at the main entrance.
Yeah, if you're coming in the main entrance from the park, leaving to the left, and it's a big tall building. It's a big tall blue building, right? This is blue, right?
Yeah.
Big tall.
The locals all call this the high school.
It's the high school, they call it. They call it the high school if you have any locals around. It's a big, fancy building, and it's real tall. It's the only tall building down here. You have three big stories. And it's to the left of the F-14 Tomcat and to the right of the T-33. And to the left of the main entrance walkway and everything. Big tall building. You find it, come up. Okay, wait. Let me know when you get near. Just text, because I'll be in class.
Okay.
All right, thanks, wait. That's good. Don't come out. He's a great guy. It's hysterical. What are the freaking chances of well, your form's just on building it, right?
Yes.
Oh, God, I got to talk engines with you guys and everything. There's so much on. Are you the young guy building the Sonics?
Yes.
You did. GoFundMe. Way to go. I'll have to throw you a few bucks. That's pretty hot. I seen that. I started plowing when I was 15. I had to go to Pterodactyl Ascender. And there's so much I wanted to do when I was your age, and you can do it all. I'm going to tell you, do everything you can. Fly that thing coast to coast, do everything you can while you're young, man, because it gets hard once you have kids. Enough said. I'm going to try to put this on quiet. It rings.
Let's see if that one reached down. Try to go over this side.
Where do you say you're from?
We are currently in Mississippi.
What magazine? That was in the EA's magazine there.
Yeah, he just had a write-up in Sporting Nations.
Anything Sonics I see now.
Okay, we'll get started with this.
I cannot figure out how to
How's it
sound.
going?
Not bad.
Just about to start.
So you're Isaac?
Yes, I'm Isaac.
All right, so you built this one?
I'm not telling you all about it, but yeah.
All right.
I'm still working on building it.
This guy's line is,
So guys, it's taking me just a little longer to get set up.
I walked in, I'm like, you guys thought he was my local. How's
it going?
The Sonics on YouTube, man.
Steve.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
I was coming to dream to see you.
Cool.
Do they have any other seminars on building home builds, or I know they got engines and stuff like that, or just the general aspect?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. It's a little hard to figure out how they do things. We just figured this out like 5 minutes ago. We're still trying to get set up.
You meant Sonics themselves.
Oh,
the RV.
Where they got it displayed on here somewhere?
Yeah, it's out in the main display area. They have the B model down there with the turbo Volkswagen on carry and marker down there at least. I seen it yesterday. I imagine John would have an Airbnb for him. You don't, you probably don't know.
Have you done the Interview podcast yet, Ted?
No, not yet.
Have you seen their videos? They have a lot of fun.
No, a little bit, no, I haven't looked at it.
If you go to EAA's Hints for Home Builders, maybe I think it is, or whatever, they have a ton of Sonic stuff in there too. They did webcast, live webcasts that they recorded and put on there, and let people ask questions. Pretty, you can just about learn anything you want to learn there.
See, the problem I have is I don't weigh 150 pounds. Yeah. Kinda,
Well, that's actually perfect for you. Set in the middle, center stick it. If you don't want a passenger, I mean.
yeah, it's only one passenger.
Yeah.
I always like to take another person up to scare too at the same time.
Yeah. Might want to look at RV-14.
You can always go to the quilt show at 10 o'clock. How was it yesterday with the rain? Did you get a lot of rain yesterday?
We actually just arrived last night.
Oh, okay.
Rained
Yeah, there
all-
was a lot of rain.
rained all day.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what was happening yesterday at the show. Well, you can sit there and see some of the parking's kind of muddy out there.
It was still raining too. So.
It almost went up.
Well, I don't know, why don't you go ahead and start your paper?
That's right, my camera's already.
If this happens to ring, I apologize in advance. I can't do any shiny.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I want you to.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Isaac.
My name is Isaac Schultz. I am the builder of Sonic 1612. I'm still working on it, but got a good deal of progress. It took us a long time to get here. We started flying from Mississippi, and we made it to Georgia before we got some really bad weather. There's like a gate shutting off all of Florida. So we landed the plane, parked it in a T-hangar, hopped in a rental car, and drove down. And we arrived to the check-in at 8:01, right after they closed. We tried to sneak in and let them, or get a pass so we could get in. They said, nope, not letting you in. So we camped out in the parking lot.
That's why I drove down.
Yeah. So I'm 16, student pilot. I've been learning to fly and surrounded by aviation my whole life. My first flight was when I was 11 days old. I was sitting on my dad's lap in his plane. I grew up going to EAA meetings and listening to speakers talk, eating the free cookies, all that good stuff. I'm an Eagle Scout and a competition gymnast. And I'm going to be talking to you about how I found time to build an airplane while flying, and some of the challenges that I ran into and have overcome. So, what is a Sonics? Well, most of you probably know that it's a low-wing, two-place airplane. It is an amazing little plane. It's aerobatic. It's built like a tank. You're not going to break the thing. It's fast, it's sporty. It is a great airplane. That's part of the reason I fell in love with it. My dad built two Sonicses, so I was toddling around when I was 6, playing with rivet stems, putting Clecos in things, and grew up around it. And of course went flying with him in his Sonics all the time. Sonic 1612 is the number of my Sonics. And I got that kit about a year and a half ago, or no, just about a year ago. We drove all the way from Mississippi to Kansas City, 11-hour drive to pick it up. And I'm going to go more of that later.
Do you mind if I interrupt you for a second? Go ahead. So, you're building Sonics.
No, I
You
have
have
plans,
plans for
right. I flag cold month 3 I built.
Okay.
I built 3 on it.
Okay.
Risk story says.
Okay, cool. And anybody else?
I'm building 3083.
Okay, so you're building, and then gentleman in the back,
No, we're just,
just stop by to,
yep,
okay, 4 nights.
kick tires.
Awesome.
All right. The first challenge was I'm a teenager. I don't have a lot of money. And Sonics is an expensive plane. It's inexpensive for an airplane, but you need to really be efficient and cost effective trying to get a Sonics when you're mowing lawns and doing odd jobs. So, to get over my low budget, I got every ounce of spare time was used working and trying to make any extra money that I could. And it all starts with the right concept of what you're looking for. So, I've got a ton of jobs you see them on the list. Those are just the ones that worked out. You can't be afraid to fail when you're going into something like this. So my sister and I tried to start up selling chocolate dipped strawberries. And that didn't work out. I started mowing the neighbors' lawns. That worked out great. I've been mowing almost every week that the grass is growing. When my EA chapter found out that I was building a plane, they came forward with some work that they needed done on some of the people's properties, and I went and worked and helped them out there. I'm a competitive gymnast, so I know a lot about gymnastics, and I learned even more and have started coaching. So when I get to the gym, I coach a little bit and then do my workout. The gym is also very dirty, and believe it or not, no one really cleaned it. So I talked to the gym owner and told him that the customers don't like the stinky gym, and my sister and I would mop the mats and worked out the price for them. And we've been mopping the mats every Sunday and bringing in some good money. I also detail cars and vacuum out, wash the windows. And I grow a lot of plants and sell a few of them to neighbors and people that I run into.
So I want to just jump in. So this is Isaac's talk. I helped him do it. But these are all his thoughts and his words. But I can't resist, as a proud dad, I can't resist throwing in a few words here and there. So the first thing, he really has done a good job organizing his project, his budget. He had, I think he started with just a few bucks, and I helped him sort of plan out how he could save money, raise money, different things he could do to earn money. Part of it was raising money through his GoFundMe, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But this has been his effort. He's done it. I've provided space and tools and helped him, but he is personally funding his airplane project, and he's doing it at a level that he can support. So I'm really pleased and really proud of him. He's done a great job. Go ahead.
So here's on the airport bulletin board, one of those businesses that didn't quite work out. I got a few opportunities, but it didn't quite work out to actually make any money. But that just demonstrates you gotta have the right attitude. Go for everything, and enough will work that the stuff that didn't work out doesn't really matter. The store price on a plane, that $34,000 price tag, that's not the lowest you can get. You can always get it cheaper and less expensive. So the part of what helped me get my plane was looking for good deals and hunting them out, talking to people, seeing what they have, making what I need to get done so that I can find a good opportunity. If you don't win, you don't play. That's kind of the lotteries thing, but it applies for looking for a good deal or finding a job too. If you just sit around all day, well, you're not going to find anything. No one's going to knock on your door and say, well, I've got a great deal on an engine. Do you want to pay for it? Like I said, the chapter was a great help. At each meeting, you could go and find some extra parts from the builders there. And not just the builders of the chapter. There's websites like the Sonics Builder Forums or some other general home build forums that can help you out in finding what you're looking for. So just about everything in my plane I got for an amazing deal in one way or another. The plane itself, I was working, saving up money to get a project from 2003, I believe, that had been sitting for years and years. And it had barely any work done. Some of the small angle pieces had been done, but that's it. And I was in contact with the seller and trying to save up more, but it wasn't really going anywhere. I hadn't agreed on a price either. I was just fundraising and trying to get enough money to get that one. And then I found a great deal on a plane project for $5,000. At the time that email came in, I had $4,960. So I set the date to pick it up from Kansas City in a couple of weeks. Mowed a few more lawns to get that extra money. And we drove on down there. A chapter member let us borrow his trailer. We brought a ton of boxes, ratchet straps, and tape. We boxed the whole thing up, put it on the trailer. When I picked it up, the wings were in ribbing, the spar and the ribs on, and the nose skins had been fit on one of the wing. The tail was just about done. All the control surfaces were done, and everything else was sheet metal and Sonics parts. It's always important to make a fair deal. You don't want to be known for getting the best possible deal and ripping off whoever you're working with. That's a bad reputation, and you want to have a deal that both people are comfortable with and happy with. So there's the guy I bought the kit from. We drove down there, picking up the kit, trying to load it into the trailer. Just tons of people from his local airport came. Everyone had a way to do it, but we had to push forward with our plan and put it on. That way we didn't end up building a huge scaffolding to drag the wings on a couple of dolly wheels or something crazy like that. So as a teenager, I've got a lot of time that I'm spending doing all my various activities. It's kind of like a great big balancing act, trying to make sure that I have time for things and I don't just waste time sitting around. That picture right there is the planned sheet tree that comes with the Sonics plans. So each one of these boxes is a planned sheet for making assemblies or components. That's just a small portion of it. It's this great big thing. So it's intimidating at first, but with a plan to do it, you can make it through. So from the airlines, they say they overbook and sell more tickets than they have seats. You can use the same concept for time, and that's what I do. I've got my schedule constantly full, so if something falls out, I've got something better to take its place, or something still workable to take its place. It also is kind of competitive, so I don't spend time on things that I really don't need to be spending time on, because I've got no time left. Gotta be picky. I do Boy Scouts, which takes weekends sometimes, and 1 day a week, and all the work at home for that. I just finished up my Eagle Scout, so that's taken a big load off, and I don't have to be scrambling and trying to get signatures and set up meetings, finishing up my last merit badges. That's all done, case closed. So I can just have fun with my troop now.
Congrats on that.
Thank you. Of course, building. You gotta find time to build, and it's not just gonna appear, you gotta make time. So one of the things I did was I set a schedule for when I would wake up. That way I could get an hour or so of building in each day, and then I could get breakfast and work on schoolwork. And losing 1 hour of sleep is a small sacrifice to get an hour of building in. You barely even notice an hour of sleep. I love flying, so I'm part of the local glider club, the RC club, and I fly with my dad. And you can't fly gliders, RC, and the plane unless you have a really good weekend. So you gotta balance time with that. And I do the best to make it work. Gymnastics, pretty much every weekday I have gymnastics, and we leave the house for the gym at 2 in the afternoon, and I'm there all night long. So it takes a big chunk of my time. I have to prioritize it properly when I'm not doing gymnastics in order to get everything else done, like flying and Boy Scouts and building. And of course, school. I'm homeschooled, which offers a ton of flexibility. I don't have to go to school from 8 to 5 or whatever it is. So if I don't have enough time to finish school before I go to gym, I can stay up a little late and finish that math test.
And sorry guys, I gotta brag on you again. So when he says gymnastics, he's a competitive gymnast. That takes a lot of time. Almost every day he's in the gym. But he was the Mississippi State champion in his division. And on Friday, we drive to the Southeast Regional Champions, where he'll compete against the entire region for his gym class. So
Sleep's not overrated for that.
yeah.
Get some sleep.
So this is flying, building, Boy Scouts, and gymnastics. Hard to find a picture of doing schoolwork. I'm not in the habit of taking pictures working on Latin. So my kit, 1612, becomes to something that happens to an unfortunately large percentage of home buildings. It just sat. For almost 2 years, it had barely any work done on it, and the builder just kept skipping by, I don't have time for that right now, I don't have time for that right now. And it kind of fell off of his plate and off of his radar. So, if you let your kit get their dust, it's dangerous. I make sure to do a little every day. Just like I said, I try and get an hour in the morning to build. And maybe I don't have time to build, maybe I need to do something that doesn't just take an hour. Maybe I'm at Sun and Fun and don't have a plane with me. So you can do something else. Read the plans. I have a website, and I document everything on the website. And I didn't put that on the list of things, but blog posts, take up a lot of time too, trying to write them out over a few days. Early on during my fundraising, just after Oshkosh, when I saw the ad for a kit, and that's what really got me thinking about it. I came home from Oshkosh excited. I had a plan. I was going to set up a GoFundMe. I was going to post on the Sonics Builder forums. I was going to start earning money. And I just kept putting it off. It stalled out, just like happens to home-built kits. And 3 or 4 months later, I woke up one morning and, no, I'm going to do it today. I'm not going to put it off anymore. I'm going to keep it going. And I wrote out a big long post. I formatted my GoFundMe page and put it live. My dad was actually at work when it happened, didn't know about it. So he got calls and emails from people like, whoa, what's going on? I got some donations. And circling back to financing a little bit, when I set up the GoFundMe page, that was a huge help. Many people were generous and donated a lot. And many people donated a lot, and that coupled with me working my tail off, managed to bring enough money together that I could get that $5,000 deal on the kit. Here's the process. First, you look at the plans and conceptualize how to make the part. Then you go in and make it, and then to write about it. Another big way to save time is having the right tool for the right job. So many times I had the wrong tool. So when you drill holes, it leaves a little burr on the edge that you have to take off to keep the hole clean. And I used a little hand deburr on each little hole. I'd spin it, cut the burr off, and move to the next. I finally figured out that you can use a file and hit a whole line of burrs all at once. And that saves a ton of time. Other little things like just being efficient walking around the garage. You don't want to walk 10 trips to get the drill, the hammer, the drill bit, the other drill bit that you forgot, the Clecos, the Cleco pliers, the silver Clecos because you forgot those too. You want to make sure you know what you're getting, go get everything, bring it to the workbench, and get to work. And once you have everything, you want to make sure that you do it in an efficient way. So you don't want to drill one hole, deburr it, test fit it, up drill, deburr again, and then move on to the next hole. You want to drill all of the holes to the pilot size and keep everything going in a smooth and efficient flow. Another good example is Sonics uses pulled rivets, unlike most planes which have solid rivets. Solid rivets take forever. There's not a great way to make those faster. And pulled rivets, you can use the hand puller, to pull the rivet and crank down on it and set the rivet. But that takes forever. Riveting a wing with that could take hours and hours. One of the chapter members got me a hydraulic pneumatic air riveter. Yeah. So I hooked that up to the air compressor, and riveting the wings, I was done in maybe 45 minutes for each wing. It was boom, boom, boom. Some places you can't get in there, but it's a great tool and a great demonstrator of why having the right tool matters. each one of those lines is kind of red. So those are some of the challenges in building and trying to get enough money and finding the time to build a plane. The other big challenge is that I'm 16 and I don't know, or I didn't know anything about building planes. I'd only been building models. So there are tons of things that I just did not know. There were some great people to help me out. My local EAA chapter, there's 30 people there that all have great wealth of knowledge that if you just ask them, they're happy to share with you. So you run into a problem while building, you can ask. EA chapter members, my dad is a two-time Sonics builder and knows a ton about building Sonics and airplanes. You can also take advantage of using the tools that EAA members have. So for some of the larger parts that require bending brakes and bends, I don't have a huge 80-inch bending brake, but one of the chapter members did have one, and I was able to line up the time, go over to his place, and bend up my parts. Also, sometimes they have hardware laying around, and if you need to, maybe you've lost one nut for a specific place, instead of buying it and ordering it off of Aircraft Spruce and waiting 2 weeks for it to come in on shipping, you can ask around the chapter, and someone might have it right in their hangar. Like I said, models only prepare you so much. What you really need is a way to learn all the new skills you need. Books are helpful. There's a great book that I'm going to be getting on how to do all the electronic wiring and routing in your plane. And people are a great asset. My dad is an experienced builder, and he's taught me tons of stuff. Little best practices that you wouldn't know from just reading the plans.
So I want to explain that chairs are for sitting in. In our tiny little garage, there's not much room to move around. And Isaac is always looking for creative places to stash his work or his project parts or whatever. And so he has this habit of putting them in my chair. So I'm constantly moving parts out of my chair so I have some place to sit down. So he thought that'd be funny to put that on there. Chairs are for sitting, not part storage.
You think that they're pretty good. You can set riveter, box of Plecos, but no. It's taught me the plans. There's an introductory sheet for the plans that teaches you how to read them, but going into it new is really hard to figure out what's going on. There's stuff everywhere, little notes. So my dad, having been through it a few times, knows how to look for all of the little details that you normally don't notice until after you've made the mistake. Like, don't rivet assembly until this next plan sheet. And you read that right after you set down your riveter. Looking again on the Builder Forum, it's not just for finding good deals on parts. There's a ton of good knowledge out there. You have to be smart to know the right from the wrong. You don't want to listen to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, and you want to make sure to get a couple of opinions and answers, and hope that they all line up. That way you're not listening to some back of the woods version of how to do it. Here's my dad and I tag teaming the turtle deck. We're up drilling it to get it ribbons in. So it's very tempting to want to put some music or a podcast on while building to occupy your minds. But you want to make sure that you're occupied with building, not listening to aviation geeks or something like that, or airplane geeks.
Well, your dad.
We make exceptions for certain podcasts.
So I've made a few mistakes due to just not putting all of your mental effort into making sure that you know what you're doing. If you lose focus and get a little rushed, say, I've already done this, I know what I'm doing. I've noticed it normally happens on the second part. So you make the right part perfect and the left part incorrect. So you got So on the aft fuselage sides, there's the sheet of skin, and then a bottom longeron that's 98 inches or whatever, and the upper longeron that's 102 inches or something like that. Well, I got the first one done right, and we're just rushing through. Got the second one all nice and drilled, and I got to the end of drilling it, and noticed, this longeron is sticking way out. That's kind of weird. So, check the plans and put them on in the wrong spots. That taught a lot of good problem solving. It turns out we were able to just put the longerons in the right place, and the holes in it didn't interfere with any of the other holes, and didn't take away from the structural strength. But for a moment I thought that I was going to have to buy $400 of shipping to get new longerons. And then a little more recently, on the forward fuselage side panels, again on the second side that we did, I drew out all of my lines for putting angle pieces onto the skin, and drilled everything, and I had put the angle piece on the wrong side of the line. So instead of being here, it was here, and just a couple of inches sideways. So it looked like it was fine. And not until a couple assemblies later, we noticed that it wasn't lining up right. And we were able to fix that and get it in the right spot. So for building my plane, the biggest thing that I learned were a huge general knowledge of the tools in the workshop and kind of building lingo. I know what a number 40 drill bit is, and I can pick it out of a handful of drill bits. When I started, my dad said, "Oh, go get the number 40 drill bit." I didn't know what I was supposed to do. One of the things not on this list, when you're laying out parts and building, using the standard inches and fractions of inches, it's really difficult to do, and you end up either spending a ton of time on it making sure it's right, second guessing yourself, or making a mistake. But the Sonics plans come with inches and metric, so laying out in millimeters is a big help, and I have not messed up in alignment when on millimeters. The whole aviation community is very welcoming and really helpful to a young builder like me who lacks or has challenges with the money and time and knowledge. And there's people from all over who will step out of the woodwork and help if you ask. I have to make sure to keep on working. I've got 2 years and then I'm going to college. And I gotta make sure the plane's all done before that and ready to go. Otherwise it'll sit for 4 years while at college. And then who knows how long until I can pick it up after that. So it's vitally important to me to make sure to keep working and get it done. Even if I only do a little bit each day, just keeping up the pace. Some parts, like, I don't have a good example, but some parts you make it a little bit wrong, or it doesn't fit quite right, or it wasn't as well made as you wanted it. And it's worth the time to remake it the way that you want it and make sure that it's perfect. And biggest thing is you can make it work no matter what. Even when I started this, I had $300 I approached the seller with. I said, I've got $300 in my hand, I can get another $100 that I can loan from my sister and pay her back. Let's make it happen. Alright. So, looking forward, currently my project has the wings done, the fuselage is wrapping up, I'm working on the seat, engine mount is mounted.
What engine are you using?
I'm using an AeroV, it's 80 horsepower. Currently the AeroV is sitting, and it's in a ton of plastic bags and 2 big plastic tubs in all of its parts. But when we get back, I'm going to put it back together. So going forward, I'm going to be working on the firewall forward and getting all of that set up. After that, I'm going to work on my panel and getting instruments. During the show, I'm hoping to find some good deals on instruments from vendors or builders that I run into. I'm going to do a custom tilt-back canopy. So I've already started working on that and put some of the necessary modifications into both sides of the... Yep. And then I'm going to be working on my interior and paint job and final assembly. The biggest concern is, like I said, staying on top of it, making sure that I have time to finish building, and I have to make sure to finish all my schoolwork, stay caught up in school. I have to keep time for gymnastics so I can keep going to regionals. Can't let Boy Scouts fall off the radar. But for any of you who know about Boy Scouts, I'm the troop guide, so it's my job to help all the younger Scouts learn. I really enjoy doing that, but when I'm not at meetings, it's a big hurt for them too, because they don't have anyone else.
Start an explorer group and have them help you do it.
Well, something that I wanted to mention, it pays off to be very welcoming. When people walk by and look at your project, say, is that an airplane in there? Say, yeah, come on, you can put them to work. Have them rivet a few things. Say, here, hold this please. They love it.
I know which people like that.
Yeah. There's an art.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to finishing flight training out. getting with an instructor after we move, to work up to my solo, and when I turn 17, I want to do my check ride. I've got business cards, so you can contact me. For more info, you can go to my blog. I've got tons of posts on there that you can read through. I've been writing it since the very beginning of the project. If you'd like to help out and donate, I've got GoFundMe, and there's a link to that on the blog as well. SonicsBuilders.net is always a big help, and I'm Sonic1612 on there. And all right, we've got time for 2 questions.
And we'll be in the hall afterwards if you're ready to stand talk.
So, any questions?
When did you start?
I started fundraising in late 2016, so around September, and I started building the beginning of May in 2017.
And are you the youngest science builder that you know of?
Pretty sure. Any other questions?
It's a little bit more outside.
Good job, whatever your parents, where your parents.
On these business cards,